Good googly boogly, can you believe it? There's another round of UniVersus here for us today, and we've chosen two I'll say two decks with lofty goals, you know? They're trying to do some air symbol things, perhaps. Okay. We've got Ricky Gopal, okay, a guy who's been in the UK scene for a long time, playing Mirko, and then Teo V playing this Mikasa that goes against my every fiber of being. I don't know. Have you played against either of these characters before, David?
Yeah, I've played a lot of Mikasa 4. Mirko, not in quite a while, and especially not against 100 lightning kicks version. Like this one. I find it fun that, like, they really took Pony down a notch by saying only once per turn clear. But Mirko and Mikasa are still just allowed to run free, and both of these characters are going to be clearing their card pool like crazy.
Yeah, it's really interesting to me because Mikasa doesn't do any of the clearing on her own, right? It needs it to come from the attacks or from the board. But what she does supply is just a huge amount of fuel, right? If you manage to build out your board, or you build the right foundations like Weapon Clash, Enormous Axe, and things like that, you can just draw a ton of foundations, a ton of attacks and foundations, just cards, right? Whereas Mirko, most of the legwork is done on the character. And you and I were discussing before the game, what you would do in this matchup. And it's like, there's both of these characters are so in on, diving deep, right? And Mirko is the Mirko deck here, right? That's been assembled is the character itself says, if this hits you, I'll clear it, right? And then there's 8 copies of a card, a 2-diff called Quick Like a Rabbit from her own kit, imagine that, and Battlefield Aid from Attack on Titan that both do the same thing. If blocked, get rid of this. But here we see the 100 lightning kicks, and Mikasa crucially did not hold any cards in hand. So these are just free to the dome unless we have some answer. I guess you could use Weapon Clash.
Yeah, and Mirko means that if this deals damage, we're just gonna grab it right back to our hand.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the really crazy thing that she gets to do with 100 lightning kicks, right? Is it leaves card pool due to the ability. You get to discard a card and bring it back to your hand. So you're playing on 5s for as much cards you have in hand,
Yeah, and this solves the issue of, like, Mikasa, we have the draw on face. So as long as we're clearing a card pool, we can just keep playing the attacks that we draw into. Mirko doesn't get that luxury. So 100 lightning kicks fills that void of, at any time, if you don't have a block, I'm just going to play this over and over again.
Yeah, it's like I said, I think it's a really silly idea to have discarded our whole hand down, especially since I think these players probably saw each other's deck lists. Like, I think very easily, you could see Mikasa going down to 15. You just do a quick 4 attacks to the dome and then build out, right? Because you could pick that 100 lightning kicks right back up.
Yeah, and this is like it's like I'm watching Falling Titans here.
Yeah, it's definitely got that energy. But the thing is, in the next set in Guilty Gear, there's a lot of cards that interact with cards in the card pool, either flipping attacks or adding cards to the card pool. And there were some a bunch of cards, honestly, in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that also flipped cards after you blocked, right? UVS Games clearly trying to push an answer to the amount of card pool swapping. Oh, is that a card in the card pool? Did we block? Okay, checks at 3. So now
we have blocked. But what I thought was funny is he discarded a card, picked it up, and then he looked at his hand and took like 3 seconds, and then he played. I don't know, like there was ever a thought, Yeah.
This is what I got, Especially since 100 lightning kicks is mid. Yeah, if you went for it, you went for it.
The only downside to this is we've discarded 2 foundations to play this again. So we're really going to be setting ourselves back on a build here. And we're destroying foundations to ready up Mirko. Both of these characters are very, very hungry for foundations so that they can do their thing.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're totally correct. But if if Mikasa can't assemble a win on next turn, right? Do 30 as opposed to 35, 15, or it looks like maybe 14 is likely to be the number. Or no, it's 19. It's 19. We're just deciding whether or not to pick up that card. And oh wow.
Oh, he's going on a 4, a 3
No,
check. That
failed.
ends it.
Yeah, that's the wrong decision in my opinion. If you had attacks in hand, I think you should have been checking them and waiting to play foundations, because now your opponent has 7 hand size health, but they have a 7 hand size board too, and opening with an anchor toss. Now we're going to see the power of Mikasa if we get there, right? We can use our foundations to dig for gas, right? Mirko had all the gas they needed last turn, but not enough foundations. Now we got to see if we have enough gas, or we need to go dig for them. And so
that definitely felt really, really greedy, trying to go for that last attack there on Mirko's side. It definitely felt like you already had a successful turn by landing 3 attacks and by having nothing in your card pool to have a good build.
Yeah.
Not a fan of that. I understand going for it because he's so wide open that it's so tempting. But here,
I love this. Yeah, I really love this. Right, you lost 16 life last turn, but now you get to extend your advantage, and if you hold the right block zones, it's going to be very difficult for Ricky to answer, right? Even alone, right? If you just face tank 2 of them, Ricky does not have the board necessary to support those attacks. So I really like the decision to not, wilt as soon as you didn't find more gas, right? Just build, hold your it looks like a moment of oh god, I keep saying moment of rest, but this card is not moment of rest. This one is
and they just get to
okay, yeah, it's gonna see him build.
Mirko just has to take the turn off and just build out here, and Mikasa has such a resource advantage. This is I mean, they're just going to be able to play every single attack they draw, and they're going to be able to draw 20 cards this turn.
Yeah, so only 1 attack, but as far as these moves go, this is one of the best ones for Mikasa, right? Focus Gravity Beam being a 1 low 4 with stun and powerful on it and a good block modifier, but it says remove a card from your hand to remove it from the game after it resolves, which is a pretty steep cost unless your character is drawing 2 cards on every single attack you play for the turn.
Yeah, and this is one where I actually, as soon as Mikasa 4 was revealed, I was much higher personally on Mikasa than I felt like a bulk of the player base, I suppose.
Sure.
And in my early lists, I was only searching the deck builder basically for cards that said clear, and it was actually your list, I think. When I saw Focus Gravity Beam for the first time, and I was like, "Oh, this makes so much sense." It wasn't coming up on my searches.
Yeah, because you're looking at clear, right? And yeah, I definitely play a little bit of a slower list even now with Sweeping Daggers gone. I think that the safety of a functional 9-hander who has 35 health, right, is just too big to deny. But Focus Gravity Beam, Anchor Toss, Dual Needle Lunge, these are cards that have insane value over the course of the turn. I understand Dual Needle Lunge in a list like this where most of the moves are leaving the card pool on their own. But I was playing more things that discarded from the foundation base, so playing a 5 difficulty after having a card in my card pool already was a little less viable. But yeah, these ones are really, really wild. And the interesting thing to me, oh no, we are playing the 4 Lunateras. And that's one that I take issue with is because if you draw a hand that's like 3 Lunateras and you're just like, I have no way to discard this.
Yeah, it's dangerous in a 5-hander.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I but I want to hear your thoughts, because it sounds like you played a lot of Mikasa as well.
Well, I played her when she was first revealed. I was like, and I was on Anchor Toss and Dual Needle Lunge. I was playing the 6 difficulty that built the 2 foundations. I don't see a lot of Mikasas these days on that as much. And then I really didn't. I haven't touched the character personally since then. But I mean, I've been watching it. Like I saw your list. I've been watching Tam, and his streams and how his list has evolved and the ones that have top cut. So it's a character that's definitely been putting in a lot of work. It's kind of like most lists are about 70% the same, I feel like, and then 30% flavor of a couple attacks that you could go different. Like you were saying, the Luna Tijeras, you could easily leave that one out, or you could put it in.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I think that the like mandatory, the only card that's mandatory in the deck is the timely counterattack. The timely counterattack just does so much for the deck. It's a 3+ block modifier for your weapons, right? Or for your attacks, just in general, right? It has breaker 3 on it. It itself gets large by itself, and it's low, which I think is pretty important. Even now in this format, right? Showdown still exists. Aries Smile still exists, and oftentimes the Midoriyas that you play against are going to have ways to, you know, change the zone to high. But I mean, if they have it, they have it. And okay, and here we see Luna Tijeras on a 4 functionally.
I think it's on a 3.
Oh, do we? I thought we
had an anchor toss, a dual needle lunge, and a focus gravity.
Oh, we played the dual needle lunge as well. Okay, yeah, it was on a 3. Absolutely, yeah. I could see. I
thought we played the dual needle lunge. Maybe we didn't. Maybe we've just been revealing it.
I think it was just used. Okay, so here's an anchor toss. We're showing the dual needle lunge. Yeah, we're showing the dual lunge for 3 damage. Yeah. Ricky's down to 8. I think only got 1 card in hand. Anchor toss is not lethal, right? That's my one problem with the card, is that it's a 2 damage base attack.
Yeah.
But it removing itself from the card pool is a pretty. Oh wow, going for the block here. I guess probably because he has the he had the zone, but yeah, dual needle, draw 2, try to find another one, right? Showing the timely gonna be 8 damage. That's enough to go to game 2. Yeah, I think it all just comes down to that first turn, right? Mikasa was really greedy, right? Trying to build all 6 cards from hand into a deck that can loop an attack as many times as it can is a really risky move, but it seems almost calculated, right? Because it baited Ricky playing Mikasa into, playing Mirko into making a really, really silly move. And
going for that completely tapped out. That was pretty much the game right there as soon as that 3 check happened.
Yeah, and don't let the end board state fool you. Mirko went first that game. Teo playing Mikasa broke Surf, right? And so you have to not get baited into the situation, especially when you check a 3 on your 5 difficulty, right? In that situation where you are tapped, right? Your foundations are both tapped as well, and any attack is going to be a risk. I think that we should have just been chucking all of the foundation or all of the attacks from my hand and being ready to build afterwards, right? Keeping the 100 lightning kicks and putting the fear into our opponent that the follow-up turn could kill them. And unfortunately, that's just not what happened. But we're on to the next one.
Whenever you go on autopilot mode, it's always like, well, I want attacks in my hand and less foundations. But on turn 2, a lot of times the answer is
the opposite.
Keep the foundations in your hand. Yeah, you've landed a couple hits. Take it from there. So and kind of crushing him a little bit for it here, but it could have worked. Had he checked a 5 there and then
even with that, as we hit 4 times actually with a partial, right? Which dope, very, very cool. Against most characters that puts them within kill range, but Mikasa has 35 health and the capacity to block on follow-ups, right? And so at that situation, we did a lot of damage, right? Enough damage to kill some characters even, or at least presented that. But Mikasa's at 19 life. So you have to look at the whole board state, right? Including health, right? And including the capacity for what you could do after that point. We were out of ways to, clear cards from the card pool unless we committed even further into our board, right? And so
there wasn't lethal that was going to happen.
Yeah, I don't think there was a lethal line, but you were so far ahead if you had, pumped the brakes. And so, yeah, like you're saying, I'm not trying to beat the crap out of Ricky, you got overzealous and it happens. But what I'm trying to highlight is actually that the safety of Mikasa. I like to compare her to an older character named Yoshimitsu, was my favorite character that I've ever played, who also played with weapons very nicely. And drew 2 cards on both turns, right? And so his thing was being a 29 health character that had functional 9 hand size. Mikasa can be much more than a 9-hander, quote unquote. It's just her early turns that are very vulnerable because you build like a 5-hander on your first 2 turns. But 35 health gets you there, right? That extra 15 life is a big deal when you're playing into a format that has a lot less output, right? We sort of batted down Godzilla. We took Pony almost entirely out of the race, right? Unless they want to play this air style package. And there's better options for it now, you know, like Mirko, like Mikasa, like I've seen Jean even doing it, right? Or Jean, sorry, I forget. Maybe he has a French sort of name. But a lot of those decks have been moved back. Even Deviljin and Porco got hit by the ban of is it teaming with the Attack Titan?
Yeah.
And so because the format is slower, you can you know, there's room for a deck like Mikasa that has a little bit more of a, you know, like a mid-range attitude. And
always going to take 2 turns.
Yeah,
to take Mikasa down. So I liked how Teo had played that one attack, drawn a couple cards to become a 7-hander, and then built the 5 foundations after it, and then
huge deal.
Had all the gas in the world. I do see that Mirko's sideboard, we've got 3 Heroes Upbringings. How impactful do you think Heroes Upbringing is against Mikasa? Or do you think Mikasa can just play around it since it happens after the 2nd time?
So you're not so committed that you can't pull off of it. I've definitely had people playing Heroes Upbringing, but the bigger thing to me is Mikasa plays 4 main boarded Koenma's tasks. So trying to counter her with an action is oftentimes like a not good idea, because you give her an opportunity to remove a Koenma's task without having to use another, you know, input, right? So focus gravity. Oh, sorry, is Heroes Upbringing in the Mikasa list?
No, the Mirko list. In the Mirko list.
I think I don't see it in Mirko. I see Lunar Ring. I see Dark Wars.
Oh, you're right. I had them backwards.
Yeah, I also I was looking at them wrong.
Yeah.
So
well,
funny.
The Mirko does not play the Koenma's task, so maybe the Heroes Upbringing does stop the 100 light.
Yeah, it would. It would, in fact, yeah, it would stop that loop going. So I would assume that those are definitely coming in. But do you take out the Koenma's tasks? I think the answer is yes.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of impactful actions happening on Mirko's side.
Yeah, I would hazard a guess that the Heroes Upbringings and the one Genkai's Guidance came in. Although Genkai, man, it's so funny because and sorry, I'm excited because I know you've played the character and I'm looking at the character in front of me. I played it for like, you know, since the set came out. But you don't have the opportunity, the luxury to play like the Death Destroy package because all of your destroys go into your face, right?
Yeah.
And so Genkai's is not a card that I played main board at all at any point. I don't think I've ever had in my sideboard either, because there's no, like, unless you're really far ahead, you can't risk fueling it. And wow, Cape came in for Mirko.
Yeah, and we see again that Mikasa just built 6 foundations, no guard in hand.
Yeah, go. I mean, you see Mirko with 2 foundations, right? Like, even if they had the same gas from last game, you can't attack more than 3 times. I don't think.
Yeah, and we've got this turbo coming in, which really helps speed, which helps those attacks land, but
we don't have any cards to block with anyway.
Yes, we do have Botox. So yeah, one card comes into hand. But if we choose to use that top enhance of the speed, then that's going to make our build harder. And on only 2 foundations, I'm not sure we can afford to make our build harder.
He definitely did it. We're just leaning forward, is because I see the speed and damage dice are on the table, sort of floating ahead of it, which is kind of I think that's a clear indicator that he pressed the button.
Yeah. And then he gets to draw a card since it's his opener, or add a card to his momentum for the EX4. Reciprocal Turbo is a card that I've always thought has a decently high ceiling, but just the kick package has never been strong enough.
Yeah, and you're seeing here with the 100 lightning kicks that it makes it a little bit more uncomfortable for people to block, you know, multiple times, I guess. Giving this one speed now.
Yeah, this is going to help push Mirko, because you have to deal damage. Like a Rodan can be a really difficult character to push through when they're given -3 speed to everything. So this can kind of help you equalize somewhat with Rodan. I don't think it would fully equalize you, but it gets you somewhat there.
And so this is pretty crucial. Ricky doesn't have access to any of the Bakugo 1 style effects that could discard an attack after it's blocked. So we're going to be playing with +1 difficulty on any attack we choose to play for the rest of the turn, and +2 difficulty on any of the non-attacks. Yikes. So that one's on a... Jeez, man. It's a printed, it's a 3 difficulty. This one's going to be on a 5.
Yeah, is that a web of blades? I don't think that's going to do much.
It is a web of blades, yeah.
This one.
This one also on a 5.
Now that one will, pushing the advantage, draw a card when you clear. Mirko needs to keep that hand up to continue grabbing. 100 lightning kicks.
Yeah, this
Cape of No Return doesn't feel like the best defense in this matchup since Mikasa doesn't really have any big impactful moves. It's just all of them taken together.
Yeah, they're all going to be for like 8 to 10. I mean, I could see using it on a Luna Teherisk. You could also just use it on a move that's already going to be removing from the card pool, like this a focused gravity beam. Like, for instance, if like in this situation where Mikasa hasn't drawn, I might press the button. Just like force them to have another move, because what they did was immediately weapon clash, right? And then they pass. Like that's the thing. Like you have no knowledge in what's in your opponent's hand. I might have just used the cape.
Because don't press the draw button first.
Yeah. But I think they're probably going to save it for a lethal move is what I will assume. Okay, Botan's coaching going to be used. Found another anchor toss, and we haven't even removed. So the thing is actually, okay. Oh, never mind. I was gonna say, like, if he didn't press the remove button, so you skipped the enhance. No, I guess maybe you wanted them to use the remove from hand enhance first, but I'm overthinking it. I think they're just saving it for a lethal move.
What is the best response? Is anchor toss a response that we could cancel with the Dark Ward?
Yes, 100%. Yeah, you could get anchor toss. You could get the breaker 3 on timely counterattack, and I think those are the 2 in the deck right now, because it would not hit Koenma's.
Yeah.
And
so he blocks with the 8%.
Unfortunately, that Dark Ward is going to get sealed when we respond with this Elder Toguro Foundation Arrogant Fighter.
Yeah, it's one difficulty loss of consciousness, but it has to be face up.
Yes.
Which
I mean, yeah.
That's a pretty good rate in my opinion.
It's a good rate. I ended up opting for loss of consciousness over the arrogant just for the block modifier, and because if I built it randomly, I could still get the thing.
Because we're going to get another block in. The nice thing versus Mikasa is it's normally not too hard to get 3 or 4 blocks in. It's just they play 10 moves at you.
Yep. So here's the dual needle lunge. Going to be losing 3 health, going to 32, I assume. And here's the kind of the kicker is the fear of God starts when the Mikasa plays the move they were showing you and then shows you another move.
Yep.
Like this timely that we just drew. And so you're like, oh God, this isn't the end of the attack string. And I think this is a matchup where Mikasa really thrives, where our opponent is not playing very much defense, right? And saying, hey, if you got it, you got it. And so using the Cape of No Return on dual needle lunge, as opposed to something like a Luna Teherisk, it counts for the Luna, does it not? Or I think Luna looks for cards that have left the card pool. Yeah,
just cards that have left.
Yeah, so it counts that the dual needle, whether it went to momentum or it got removed from the Cape. So it's a 3 difficulty right now. 3 difficulty going to be for 10.
Yeah, Luna is super unfailable. It feels terrible to block. You're going to be taking the half damage anyway.
Yeah. Man,
but the only downside to the Luna Tejaris in the deck is that it's not a weapon. It's a little bit inconsistent if you draw it as a 5-hander early, and it's not a weapon, so you can't reveal it for the block mod. Same thing with the Focus Gravity Beam. Both of those are non-weapon cards.
Yeah. I mean, with the amount of draw you have, sometimes you get the awkward hands, right? Where in this deck specifically, you're playing 8 copies of cards that don't have weapon on them. But we found everything we needed. I can't believe we're still drawing cards. You don't need to. This hand is completely stacked with stuff.
Yeah, I'm not seeing much hope for Mirko here. We're already down to 13. I don't know. Just watching Mikasa just makes it funny that we got rid of Pony, but
yeah, it like
feels the exact same. I'm just watching someone play the game at me.
Yeah.
I mean, Mirko's not. To be fair, Mirko's not putting up like neither of these decks are. Really
Why are we drawing cards? This is failable now.
Yeah, we could kind of be pigeonholing ourselves into our opponent's only win con.
Yeah, because if you check a 3 on any of these, oh my bad, airship checks a 5, as it should, by the way.
And we do have less foundations now.
We do, yeah. So it's a base 3 damage, getting 3 more to 6. 1 more move, and that's all she wrote. And now it's unfailable. So I think that's it for Ricky here. Oh, it's for 7. Hell, 3 printed too low 3. My bad.
Yeah, this Mikasa deck, we saw both games kind of had the similar game plan: attack, build our entire hand turn 1, attack a little bit turn 2, build our hand, and then just go all in after that. Or maybe is this turn 2 actually?
This is turn 3. This is turn 3. Oh, it might be Mikasa's turn 2. I know that Ricky has had 2 turns. This is turn 2. Yeah. Because remember, Mikasa built 6 and then had 2 weapon clashes.
Okay. Yeah, now I'm tracking. Yeah, this is turn 2. Okay. Yeah. There you go. Turn 2 kill.
There it is. Oh, yeah, let me show you my hero's upbringing, by the way.
It would have been cool if it came up.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, and again, that's why I think the design clearly for the past 2 sets have been very locked in on answering card pool clearing, Unfortunately, a lot of it is on board. So you'll need to have many of those things because there's so many ways to deal with a card that's on your board, right? There's not too many things that do it. I throw in the card. I think there is a Guilty Gear card that does fight this in the card pool. An action, if I'm not wrong. I haven't really gone deep onto the cards in Guilty Gear yet, but it's scary to look at. And so I understand people at home if you're like, what do I do against something like that? And the answer is have more threats on your board than they have answers to, and make it even a little bit uncomfortable for them, and it breaks apart entirely, right? Like if you could cancel a single one of Pony's card pool clears and they're on +1 difficulty for the turn when they wanted to be on +0 or even +2 if they want to be on +1, can be a giant deal. And we saw that in this game, right? If Mikasa didn't have an answer for the Dark Ward, that turn was very, very failable. And in turn, they would have been the ones that won Foundation, right? So all is not lost. Play smart, and you too can beat a Mirko.
Yeah, but if it's 2025 and you're playing on progressive difficulty, you're only doing it because you choose to do so.
Yeah, you're being a little silly there, buddy. I can't believe you did that.
You don't have to be doing that. Yeah, there are ways everybody else is getting around it.
Yeah, everybody's cheating the card pool. I mean, Sam Tate is he had this quote from like year one of MHA, where he said everybody's making a mockery of the card pool. I think, and it's one of my favorite Sam quotes. He's just looking at, you know, all of the characters that were either clearing or adding to their checks, and the same is true now, right? Godzilla does what he does because he's adding so much to his checks, right? Often +4, +6 to his check to play cards, and you know, you see Mikasa's, you see Devil Jin's, right, as well, getting +8 to a single check and things like that, and and then, you know, putting giant damage numbers down on the few moves that they do play, and so. Yeah, you're totally right. Unless you're like a Rodan, where you're just like playing obscenely strong defense, you're unlikely to be playing on progressive, you know, natural, like real progressive difficulty. And so you have to have answers for what people are doing, or play a really, really, really good defense.
Yeah, the best decks typically they're breaking the game in some fundamental way, and that Mikasa deck, it was breaking it in the clearing, and it was also breaking the you know, oh, I'm a 5-hander. It's like you had like 15 cards at the end of that 10 attack string. So two ways that Mikasa deck was kind of breaking the game. So looking good for Teo to make top cuts there with a round 5 victory. But we have 2 more rounds for everybody, so don't go anywhere. That round went pretty fast, so we might be on a little bit of an extended break here. But bear with us, and round 6 will be upcoming.